Day four. It's Saturday, May 15th. We're in San Francisco. I had a great night's sleep. And ready for today. There's going don't really know what's going to happen. There's a couple things we kind of want to do. We've been looking at our phones, trying to figure out where we want to go, where Quinn wants to go, and where I thought we might want to go see things. Go down by the pier and see, look out in the ocean and so forth, and things I've seen before. And I'm not gonna pull the car out. We're not gonna drive anywhere. So anywhere we go, we're gonna walk, and who knows how much walking that might be at this point. We don't know. So we get up again. I don't know, about 7 o'clock or so, 7:30, and just raring to go, kind of. And Quinn wants to get his coffee, and he looks up, and he finds out. He says there's breakfast joint. And then he finds out it's closed, and then he finds out another one that had bagels, and so it's called the Posh, I believe. And so it's not that far of a walk. So it's a couple blocks away. We get there, order the bagels, and I can't remember what bagels we had, but they were good, and. I think, I can't remember what kind of bagels. There was like a cheese bagel or something like that. But they were your kind of New York bagels, really doughy and nice. Maybe not as good as New York, but they're good. All right. And so we had those, and we got done, and then we walked back to the hotel, and we tried to figure out what to do. And we got back to the hotel, and I can't remember what I said. I had to get something from the car, so I went and got it. It was really easy to get to the car. That was just good to know. And so I came back, and I said, let's walk down the pier and then see where we go from there. Because that guy said go to Pier 39. And so I look at my phone, and it says the pier is about a mile and a half away. And I told Quinn, and he goes, okay. And it's always hard to tell when people say a mile and a half. Some people might think that's long. Other people might think it's okay, whatever. So we head down, and we walk. And I can't remember. I can sort of picture things. I remember meeting somebody that said that she was kind of lost, and she had a kid. And she goes, do you know where the market is? And I heard there's one down here. And I go, no, I don't. We're not from around here, and we don't know. And I said, well, I think it's the other way. And it turns out I was wrong, because there was a market where she was going. So I felt bad about that 15, 20 minutes after I noticed that. Okay, but so we got so we kept on walking, and we get down to the pier, and so. As you walk along the pier, there's these buildings, and there's cats talking again, and then are you done? You want me to turn this off for a second while he gets done talking? You done? Okay, all right. So the pier, you can't just look out in the ocean. It's all blocked by all these buildings. And I guess it used to be called Cannery Row. But that's what my mom says. But it's called Embarcadero, I believe, is what it's called. And so we walk along. We're gonna walk all the way down to Pier 39. I didn't realize it, but that's what Quinn wanted to do. And I said, "You want to go off here?" He goes, "No, we just go down Pier 39 and see what it's about." So it was a bit of a walk. I don't know, about another mile or so. So we put about 2.5 miles in so far, which is okay. I'm glad we're finally doing a little bit of exercise. And we get to Pier 39, and yeah, it's where all the shops are, and it's Saturday. And it's like the first Saturday that the governor has relaxed a lot of the pandemic restrictions, and so it's packed with people. And there's shops and shops and shops, and then you actually can go out on on decks, and you can see uh, the bay, and you can from the bay you can see Alcatraz, and there's these seals out on these wooden planks, these wooden planks that are about 10 feet wide by 30 feet long, and they're all just lying out there. There's about 5 of these planks, and it's kind of cool. Is there's one guy, big guy per plank, and then there's these all his ladies lying in the basket in the sun, and the guy is defending his plank. Every once in a while there'd be another guy trying to get up on it, and they'd battle and they'd wrestle in a sense until it's like that game where you're pushing somebody and then you push them off in the water, and that's what happened here. So, and they would do that, and you could spend all day just watching these. And then when the guy won, he'd bark, 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 to let everybody know he was the boss. So we watched a little bit of that, and Quinn, I wasn't interested in buying anything, but Quinn wanted to buy something to because of the visit and everything. So he finally found a shop that had a sweatshirt that was to his liking. It was cool. It was a hoodie. It was this really soft material. It was kind of a tannish brown, and maybe not really tannish, but more like coffee with milk in it color. All right, and it was comfortable, and it was fairly cheap for a sweatshirt. $25 or so. And and I had my clothes. I told Quinn for the trip, I said, you need to can't bring very much, right? Because you can only bring one suitcase that's this big. It's 20 by 15 by 8, all right? And if there's anything you need, you can buy it there, all right? And so, and same thing for me. And so what I did was my main thing is I brought my heavy things that would take up a lot of space are 2 sweatshirts and a pair of jeans. So I wore the jeans, and then I wore one sweatshirt for the first couple of days, and then I was going to change to another sweatshirt, to Wayne State sweatshirt. So the first couple of days I wore a Michigan sweatshirt, and then the next couple of days I was going to wear a Wayne State sweatshirt, and then from there I was hoping to wear t-shirts because it was going to get warmer. So all right, so so I didn't want a lot of things to add in, and Quinn bought his sweatshirt, and I had my Wayne State sweatshirt from last night when the guy recognized it. And so we're walking out on deck, and this guy comes up to me, a tall fellow, and he says, "Wayne State, I went to medical school there." And I go, "No crap, I did too. Though I didn't go to the medical school, I went to the biochemistry part of medical school." And I go, "When did you graduate?" He goes, 1987. I go, "I was there then." And then we start reminiscing. I'd never met him. If I did, I wouldn't remember. But it was cool. And so we talked about who he may have had as teacher in biochemistry, and he was excited to see somebody with Wayne State on it. And so he had me take his wife took a picture of me and him that he could send to his brothers. So that was cool. And so Quinn looked at me and said, "Yeah, maybe people from Detroit are friendly." Okay, so we were done at the pier, and so he said he wanted to go to Japantown, but Japantown was up the hill, okay, another couple miles, and I thought, well, maybe. He said, "What do you want to do?" Well, I kind of like to go Knob Hill, and that's where the kind of the hill is, and also Lombard Street, where the wavy street on the hills are. It's real visitor type place, and visitor type place, and so it turns out that that Lombard Street is on the way up to Japantown, and when you're going up to it, the hill is really steep. I mean, you just can't believe that cars actually go up and down these streets. It seems to be almost 45 degrees, this street. and all the wheels are the parked cars have the wheels turned inside just in case for some reason the cars were left in neutral, they wouldn't roll down the hills. And so we walk up there and we took some, at Lombard Street, took pictures. We didn't walk down the wavy road there because I go, we're just gonna come back up, and the road was really steep. So we just took some pictures, and I'll probably show those here. And then we continued to Japantown, which was another mile or so. We got into Japantown, and Japantown's kind of new. It maybe last 30 years or so, and so there's Japanese restaurant, but the main thing is there's this mall, Japan Center, I guess it's called, and they have restaurants and shops and things like that. And so we went in there, and there's many shops, and many of them had kind of things that Quinn might be interested in, like things about the shows that he likes to watch, the not MAGA, the Magma, or whatever, I forget what it's called, or anime, types of things. And so when you had to stand in line, actually, they would only let about 4 people in, and when 4 people left, and so that typically there'd be about 20 people in a store. So you had to wait, and there was a lot of people there. And there was some very long lines, and those luckily weren't places we wanted to go. So we decided to go get sushi, and it was on the second floor. We went, and we had a couple rolls of sushi. I can't remember what they were, California and something else again. And Quentin would buy a spicy one, and I would get one that's not spicy. And so I think we actually bought the same one. I think we bought 2 rolls of the rainbow. And then after that, we went to the shops and then sat outside in the mall where there was a open courtyard, and people were in there outside and running around. And it's still not sunny; it's overcast, and it's in the 60s. It's not cold; it's comfortable. It's okay. And so we stayed there for a while, and then then we decided to walk back. Okay, then we walk back, and the walk is another 1.5 miles. So we're gonna end up walking 7 miles today. So day 4 is, instead of driving a lot, we walk a lot, which is good. It's not bad. Getting out and walking was good after sitting around a lot. So we walk back the hotel, and we sit down, and it's getting kind of late. Not late. It's been, I don't know, it's probably about 5 o'clock, okay, and 5:30, and we sit down. I think actually today's when I bought. So actually today, we go out and buy beer. So at least I do. My beers I bought the other day, they're done, and yeah, maybe I had 3 one day. And so I go. So we walked, and Quinn was looking for a bottle opener because he bought the beer he bought the other day was bottled beers, and he didn't have a bottle opener. He's been trying to figure out ways to open it every place he goes. He's trying to open it on doors or somewhere bathrooms without breaking the bottle or the thing that he's doing it. But he always seems to open them, and he hurts his hand doing it sometimes too. So I went to buy some beer, and he needed to find a bottle opener. And so I go and we go to this place, guy, and I get my beer, and they said, "Do you have bottle openers?" And they go, "No." And then I go, "Oh," Quinn goes, "Okay, you can go back to the hotel, and I'll go down the street and see if I can find one." So and I'll meet you back at the hotel. And so I started walking back, and he catches up with me and says, couldn't find one. All right, I go, well, okay, I guess we can try to figure it out. Right, and so get back to the hotel, and we sit around, and it's the time to start thinking about dinner. And we ate lunch about 1, and it's about 7 o'clock, getting on 8 o'clock, I think. Actually, 8 o'clock, and he has a beer, and the way he figures out open the beer is, as I said, see that handle on the door? Use that. And he does it, and he goes, wow, that's cool. I go, yeah, that's how I usually do it. But not all hotels have that. Otherwise, I would have showed you this earlier. And so he has a beer, and then I think I might too. And then we're looking for a place to eat, and he looks at something, and I said, I saw something. I go, oh, this place looks like pretty cool. It's like an Italian pizza place, and it's not like American pizza where you get this big round slab or square slab cut into pieces. It's a smallish thing. It's called a pinza. All right, Pinza, I believe, and it's only about 12 inches by 10 inches. Okay, kind of an oval shape, and they put all kinds of cool things on it. And I go, well, how about we go there? And it's called the Monte Sacro. It's about 3 blocks away. And so we plug it into the phone, and it's about 8 o'clock, and it's getting kind of dark out, and walking down the streets, and it's Saturday, so the streets are a little alive, probably not how they are before the pandemic, but the Google direction tells us to go down the street and and there was our restaurant, and we look up, and it goes, no, it's not here. And then I'm going, don't know where could it be, because it says it's right here, or it looks like it's there. And there was this guy, and he kind of looks like he might kind of be homeless type person, but he seems to have maybe a jacket that looks like a security guard jacket on. And he goes, do you need some help? And Quinn kind of thinks, I'm pretty sure he's thinking, no, I don't want you to bother me, because you look like a homeless person. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to ask this guy, because he may know. Who knows? And so back to my thing about the video game where these people pop up and tell us where to go. He's one of them, all right? And so he goes, they have the wrong directions. You need to go down the corner, make a right, and then another right. It'll be there. I go, oh, okay. And we do that, and we going down this alley, and we're kind of going, Then Quinn goes, there it is. And we walk into and I made reservations before I left for 8 o'clock. And it's a very small place. It's maybe 20 feet wide by 80 feet deep, and 20 feet of that is kitchen. And this guy's running around, and he's obviously looks like he's overworked. He's getting people to their seats, and he's trying to be waiter as well. And he looks totally fragile. All right, and I go stand up by the desk where the wait person is supposed to take you to your seat, and another person's up there, and he kind of looks at me like, why are you cutting ahead of me? And I don't say anything. I just stand up there because I made a reservation, and I'll talk to the guy, and I'm not doing anything to you, so it didn't matter. Okay, so I didn't tell him, but that's what I was thinking. So finally, this guy, the the guy that's running around comes up. He goes, I go, I have a reservation for 8. He goes, oh, okay, sorry. Oh, and he has an Italian accent. He was like, we'll get you plate, get you a table right away. And I go, okay. And the other guy's looking at me and goes, kind of like, why is he saying that to you when you, he doesn't that. You can just see that in his eyes. And so I just sit there. And then the other guy finally gets a seat with he's got a party of 4 or 5. And then it's a little bit of wait, it's maybe 5-10 minute wait, and we have nowhere to go, and we're not going to go anywhere else. Food looks good. And so we wait, and then finally he comes and he says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. Here, sit here. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry for your wait. And we go, no problem, we're all set. He goes, okay. And he goes, all right. And he comes back, he goes, what do you want? I go, I don't know, because we didn't get a menu. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, oh, the main waiter called in sick and left me to do all his job. Oh, and Quinn is going, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I used to work in restaurants, and I know if that guy wasn't in our restaurants, the whole place would just kind of go crazy. So I really understand it. And so Quinn told him that, and the guy seemed to appreciate that what Quinn was saying, that he empathized with this fella, and he comes back with the menus, and actually we got it on our phone, I think, and we were looking already after we realized we could do that, and he goes, oh, okay, here, and then he comes back, he goes, you decide what you want? I go, well, first of all, tell me something about the wine. And I go, what did this wine look good? We're talking about wines. I look up different kinds of wines, and there was this thing called a Melback, which is kind of a Merlot red wine. And Quinn wasn't really sure if he wanted that, but I said, we could try it. The guy came back, and we find out his name is Monty, so I'll go with Monty. And Monty comes back. He goes, oh, can I help you out? And he goes, can we have a glass of the Melbeck? He goes, oh, it's on the house. We're so sorry for having you wait. And I go, oh, no problems. He goes, okay, it's on the house. So we got the glasses of wine are like $8 a piece. So we didn't complain. Okay, so he poured us a drink, and I think he might have just made it, refills on our house too. Oh, I think we just had one glass, but he came back, said, you want a refill? And I think he might have topped us off. But he came back, and we ordered pizza, and we got one for each one, just one pizza. And I can't remember on it, but it was kind of a white sauce pizza, and I really liked it, and Quinn did too. And the guy come back, and he was always checking on us and everything, and he was keep on apologizing for everything. So, and Quinn really, really enjoyed the place. He thought it was a wonderful place. And then we got done with our dinner, and he came back and said, do you want dessert? Now, typically, I don't order desserts, and I don't think Quinn does either, but I was thinking, wow, what the hell, can you tell us what you have? And so he told us what he had, and he described it, because he didn't have pictures of it, and he didn't even have a list. It's just a list from his head, and he would name them and describe them, and one of them sounded interesting, and I'll show a picture of it here. And it was like a cream cheese thing he's covered in beef fat and something else, and he said, there's a dessert wine that goes with it. And I go, okay, let's try it. And it comes back, and it's this round. It's only about 3 inches wide, okay, in diameter, and about 2 inches tall. And it's this white piece, and it's a delicacy. So you're not gonna slam it down your throat. You could, right? And then he comes back with the wine, and there's these little cups, and I'll show. I have pictures of that. It's a Marcella, it's called, and it's this really sweet wine, perfect for dessert. And both these things just went down together perfectly. Um, and we were and Quinn was just beside himself with the service and the food of this place, and it was really nice. And so he came back with a bill. Now most of the dinners that we have comparably would be, I think one of the first nights there was $80. Okay, or there was $100 meal. I think, yeah, the first night we went to Mexican restaurant ended up being $100 with the 2 shots of tequila. All right, okay, so and the margarita probably costs more than anything, but this one comes back and it's $30. Well, we saved $15 from the glasses of wine. It's $18 from that. So and the service, and I go, well, this guy definitely deserves a super tip. So I gave him the nice tip, almost equivalent to the meal. All right. Not that I'm a high roller, but we would have ended up spending that money at any other place. And it's kind of the thing to do. We got done. It's like 9:30, and it's nice outside, and it's nice to walk. And we just had a really nice day in San Francisco. Okay, it was a nice full day, and I'm glad we did it. And I think it's nice for Quinn to be able to experience it. I remember, I've been to San Diego, L.A., and San Francisco. San Francisco is my favorite of the three. So so we finished that off, and then we walked back. I mean, and then we went to bed. It's another night in our great beds, and so it's nice day. And so thinking about what's going to happen next day and so forth, it would be nice if we would be able to go across the Golden Gate Bridge to Marin County up into the hills and things and see. But it wouldn't be that great now because there's clouds, and you wouldn't be able to get the views you want. So I pretty much decided that day 5 would be headed out. And because of the time we spent in San Francisco, and I want to be able to spend time, not rush through, because the next big place is Joshua Tree, and it won't be tomorrow, but it'll be the following day. And I don't feel like rushing through that because it's quite a drive. Originally thought we'd hit Yosemite, but so we're gonna head straight to Joshua Tree on day 5 and day 6, and then that'll start to fill in the last few days. Okay, so there's day 4.